What's up, everybody? It's your friend Leo Francis here, and today I'll be trying something a little bit different and changing up my format. Don't worry, I'll still be bringing you my traditional short form reviews, but occasionally I'd like a little room to breathe, you know? So I'm going to test out this longer format and see how it feels because I want it to be looser so that I can cover more and have fun with it, you know? So I'll be doing reviews, I'll be covering news and upcoming releases in the world of junk food, I might occasionally have a guest, and as my Nothing Tastes Sweeter Than Nostalgia moniker would suggest, I'll definitely be doing a little reminiscing. So strap in as I present to you the first episode of Nothing Tastes Sweeter Than Nostalgia. And without further ado, let's dive right in.
Hey yo, basically, there is no calm to me, and I go all out with me, a chat pure fuckery. Wanna be MCs, need a new policy, try honesty, honestly, you astound.
Now, first, I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you stick around because I have some fun stuff planned. I'll be covering some upcoming news in the world of cereal, I'll be doing a few tastings, I'll even be running down 5 of my all-time favorite cereals. But first, I thought we should start it all off with a toast. Okay, so right before Christmas, I happened to mention to my wife that I had been searching for this bottle of s'mores-flavored Irish whiskey called Mash and Mallow, but had been unable to find one. And being the absolutely amazing wife that she is, she tracked down a bottle several states away and wrapped it up and put it under the tree on Christmas morning like a Christmas miracle. So, while it is not the first time that I have had the pleasure of tasting this, I did want to give it an official review, but more importantly, I wanted to raise a glass to all of you out there, my friends in the world of junk food. Cheers, and bottoms up. Absolutely delicious. Okay, so I think the best way to describe this would be as a mix between an Irish whiskey and a cordial or a dessert wine, you know? Because while it still has all of that bite and body of a traditional Irish whiskey, you're also getting this added layer of sweetness from the very distinctive notes of toasted marshmallow, cocoa, and graham cracker. I mean, to be honest, it's a mix that I wasn't certain was going to work together, but it absolutely does. This is a whiskey that could easily stand on its own or work as part of a mixed drink. So I'm going to give this a perfect 5 out of 5 stars. If you are a s'mores enthusiast who is over 21 years of age, or you're just a lover of Irish whiskey with a little bit of a sweet tooth, I would absolutely recommend you pick up a bottle of this. You will not be disappointed. Okay, so next up, an update in the world of cereal news. Now, 2024 seemed like it gave us an endless supply of absolutely insane brand mashups that nobody saw coming. Everything from Sour Patch Kid Oreos, Dr. Pepper Peeps, Snapple Swedish Fish, stuffed puff marshmallows filled with Jolly Ranchers, and an Oreo Coke collaboration that gave us soda, cookies, and a Slurpee. And in comparison with all of that, so far this year has seemed relatively quiet. That is, up until now. Because just last week, Cinnamon Toast Crunch announced another unlikely limited edition brand collaboration, and this time they've partnered with Tostino's Pizza Rolls for a pizza-flavored Cinnamon Toast Crunch. That's right. Okay, so I'm not sure what this is supposed to be or who it's for, but it doesn't mean I didn't sign up for the raffle to win a free bag of it, because that's the thing, is the only way to get your hands on this limited edition run of only 1,000 units is to sign up for a raffle on the Cinnamon Toast Crunch website. So, you know, it's possible none of us will ever taste this cereal. It might just all go to bots. But that doesn't mean I'm not trying, so that I can share this with you, because frankly, for my purposes, this kind of sounds disgusting and brings up so many questions, like, is this pizza-flavored cereal supposed to be eaten in milk? And is there Cinnadust on the pizza? Or if not, what about this makes it Cinnamon Toast Crunch? Or just more general questions, like, why and for who? You know? But I guess here, the most important question is this something you would try? You know? Let me know in the comments. I have to say, I am curious. So, As a person whose memories of my childhood are inextricably linked to the TV shows, movies, books, video games, and junk food I was consuming at the time, I have to say I often find myself looking back fondly over something as simple as a commercial jingle or a favorite snack food when I am thinking about simpler times in my life. And considering that the snack food that is nearest and dearest to my heart is breakfast cereal, tonight I thought I would run down 5 of my all-time favorite breakfast cereals in no particular order. So, let's get started. First up, C-3PO's cereal. Now, I was born into a Star Wars family, but it wasn't until 1983, at the tender age of 4, when my mom took me to a matinee of Return of the Jedi, that my fandom truly turned into an obsession. So, just a year later, when this cereal came out, I was all over it. And for multiple reasons, not the least of which was the fact that the back of the box had this really cool cutout masks, and I got both C-3PO and Darth Vader and wore them around the house constantly. Now, flavor-wise, I seem to recall this tasting like honeycomb cereal, which I was also obsessed with back in the day. So, while it is possible the only thing I really enjoyed about this cereal was the branding, if I'm being honest, I would absolutely love the opportunity to taste it again.
A delicious part of this nutritious breakfast.
Next up, Circus Fun cereal. Back in 1986, I was strolling through the aisles of the grocery store with my grandmother when I came face to face with a display for a brand new cereal called Circus Fun, and I was immediately smitten. Because I don't know if you've ever seen this cereal before, but it's like insanity in a bowl. I mean, there is so much going on there. There are speckled balls and hoops and 4 different animal-shaped marshmallows and practically every color under the rainbow. And even though I remember the flavor to be kind of a generic fruit flavor, there is something about that particular mix of tastes and textures that I absolutely wish I could recreate today.
It's circus fun right in your bowl, and you're gonna wanna come trying. For horses and hoops, balls and bears, elephants and lions.
Huh?
Horses, hoops, balls, bears, elephants and lions. New Circus Fun cereal. Crunchy red hoops, speckled balls, and many marshmallow animals. Circus Fun, a spectacular part of this complete breakfast. New Circus Fun cereal.
Next up, Gremlins cereal. That's right, back in 1984, the world was obsessed with all things Gremlins. And just to show you how key branding is, Ralston released Gremlins cereal, which the world immediately clocked as a ripoff of Captain Crunch, but frankly, nobody cared because they had Gizmo on the outside of the box. Now, Ralston was famous for 2 things, making breakfast cereal and making dog food, and oftentimes their breakfast cereals were indistinguishable from their dog foods. But this was not one of those cases, because while this was a ripoff of Captain Crunch, it was an absolutely delicious one, and I still think about it all the time.
Gremlins, gremlins, bite after bite. What a tasty way to satisfy a gremlin appetite.
Gremlin cereal is part of this complete breakfast.
Gremlin, yum yum.
Next up, Rocky Road cereal. Originally introduced in 1986, this one might be more famous for the TV commercials than it is for the cereal itself, introducing the world to 3 new cereal mascots in Choco and Van, the chocolate and vanilla cereal pieces, and Marcia, the chocolate-covered marshmallow, the 3 of which were in a rockin' band that played extremely catchy songs during the commercials.
It's new Rocky Road cereal with Choco, Van, and Marcia.
We'll wake everyone up.
Right, to try new Rocky Road. They'll thank us.
And sing the praises of new Rocky Road.
Hit it.
Chocolate's chocolate is hot. It makes my heart sing. And vanilla puff is such a tasty thing. And I've got something really special for you. It's got a chocolate and nutty coated marshmallow too.
And while I did find the commercials to be adorable, this cereal for me was all about the taste, but moreover, for me, this one was about the texture, because while the chocolate and vanilla cereal pieces were just your traditional corn puffs, the marshmallows here had the texture of freeze-dried ice cream or like astronaut ice cream. And I have to say that the combined texture of the cereal pieces with that, once it hit the milk, was absolutely addictive. And I still think about this cereal all the time and would love to see General Mills feature this as one of their throwback cereals in the near future.
New Rocky Road cereal tastes like
Rocky Road!
part of this complete breakfast.
Waking up to Rocky Road makes your breakfast sing.
Okay, and last but certainly not least on this list of 5 of my all-time favorite breakfast cereals is Rice Krispies Treat cereal. Originally introduced in 1993, this was just chunks of actual Rice Krispie treats in a box, and they were selling it as a breakfast cereal. I mean, it was not only absolutely awesome, but insanely decadent. I mean, the way that the texture of the marshmallow would change when it hit the milk and those chunks started to come apart was absolutely heavenly, you know? Sometime in the early 2000s, they changed up the recipe, and frankly, every version of the cereal that existed between then and when it was discontinued in 2020 paled in comparison to the OG. Now, the OG version of that cereal is something we are unlikely to see again, but man, a person can dream, right?
Hey, we know what it takes for treat cereal. You gonna finish that?
Now, semi-recently it was brought to my attention that a company called Nutty and Nostalgic that makes current versions of your favorite discontinued junk food from the 90s has a version of the OG Rice Krispies Treat cereal, and apparently it is very good. So, today, I thought I would taste it and see how it stacks up. And without further ado, let's dive right in. Okay, so here is what a spoonful of this looks like. I'm going to turn it to the side so you can kind of see. On the bottom here, you can see the layer of cereal milk cashew butter. On top of that, the layer of Rice Krispies and marshmallow fluff. And finally, on top, the freeze-dried Rice Krispies treats. But now, let's see how this tastes. Cheers. Fuck me, man. Wow. 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 This is something else. Okay, so while this is absolutely delicious and every bit as decadent as the OG Rice Krispies Treat cereal, the question is, how does it stack up? And while it is extremely difficult for me to compare a jar of nut butter with a bowl of cereal, this is definitely ticking all the boxes in terms of the signature tastes and textures of the OG cereal. And while, this is certainly not the same as sitting around and eating a bowl of Rice Krispies Treat cereal in milk, I will say that the cereal milk cashew butter is truly delightful and beautifully ties together the various Rice Krispies Treat elements into what amounts to a pretty accurate flavor comp for the OG cereal. So I'm going to give this 4 out of 5 stars. Absolutely delicious and highly recommended, especially if you are like me and have been missing the 1993 version of this cereal for longer than you would care to admit. And yeah, there you have it. Now, if you'd like to get your hands on a jar of this, I will put a link in the description. Just a heads up, they are often out of stock, but you can sign up for notifications on restocks. And while you're there, if you've seen my 40th anniversary celebration of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, you'll know I also recommend you check out Nutty and Nostalgic's Cowabunga pies, especially if you have been missing those classic Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle vanilla pudding pies from the early 90s. Anyway, thank you so much for checking out episode 1 of Nothing Tastes Sweeter Than Nostalgia. I hope that you enjoyed the longer format. I definitely look forward to doing more of these, so stay tuned. As always, my name is Leo Francis. Thank you so much for checking me out, and I hope to see you back here soon.